Before we head to the Phi Phi Islands, let me take you to Phuket for a moment.
I didn't think that Phuket was so big. It's well known to be a beach-life peninsula, but I decided to skip the sea before going to the Phi Phi Islands. What captured my eye on the map was the Monkey's Hill, and well, they didn't give it this name without a reason. I went there the very first moment I arrived in the city, and I was stunned by the quantity of monkeys that share the path with you. Numerous monkey families, chilling quietly on the warm asphalt, cleaning reciprocally therefore, not even afraid of the human presence, but just enjoying their wildlife. Do you remember the sheep I met in Chiang Rai? Well, the feeling is always the same. Animals remained best to remind me the ritual sacredness of life, full of those simple actions that with their rhythmical repetition give a pure and genuine sense to our life. And if you enjoyed this video guys, follow me for more content like this and see you in the next video.
It's not as if there's actually much going on here in the center of Phuket, and as has happened many times before, when there's nothing special to report, my gaze drifts across the road, searching for where life leaves traces of its passage. I'm fairly certain a project will emerge from this. I've been exploring the theme of thresholds frequently on this journey, and it could become the subject of a spin-off. I'm beginning to sense a soul within these boundary lines. They aren't merely architectural elements, but indirect portraits of those who inhabit these spaces. Wary, functional thresholds, breathing or standing in silence. They always in some way reveal a certain presence, a way of being. But I haven't given myself enough time to explore the city. I prefer to stay in the old town, visiting Monkey Hills time and time again, strolling amongst numerous clans of monkeys, experiencing once more that feeling of carefree bliss, of doing nothing at all, of simply existing, which animals express entirely unconsciously. And before I knew it, it was time to move on the famous Phi Phi Islands. A veritable paradise, though one that failed to distract me enough to make me forget why I'd come here. From the very moment I set foot on the island, my gaze fell once again upon the activities that make life here possible. Boats being loaded, goods being moved, the island being prepared so that the next day the rhythm can resume as it does every other day here, besieged by mass tourism. But it wasn't easy at all, and for a moment I felt lost. Having identified the rhythm that allows the island to exist, it wasn't easy to photograph the people who make all this possible. I didn't want to fall into the trap of always seeking a striking shot, but rather something that could still evoke those feelings. Perhaps it's because we are not yet at the peak of the high season, but as I strolled through the narrow streets and along the beaches, I sensed a certain emptiness, which was completely unexpected. I had expected to face huge crowds of tourists, and I was ready to face the chaos once again. But this time I had the chance to enjoy the tranquility of this little corner of the world.
Koh Phi Phi is a real paradise, an heavenly island where you can really fall into a peaceful state of mind. Postcards here are incredibly easy to catch, especially if the sun is up into the sky. But behind all of this luxury, of course, there's the busy work of those people who live here. Since sunrise to sunset, steel carts run along the narrow streets of the island, carrying ice, food, or the luggages of people who came here just to switch off their brain for a few days. But to be honest, I didn't face so many crowds of tourists as I expected. On the contrary, I felt this place quite empty, in a state of total suspension. Even though everything moves in a rhythmical and fast way to keep everything always set and ordered, at every hour of the day everything is packed and ready to be experienced. But too many times I asked myself, who is all this effort for? And if you enjoyed this video guys, follow me for more content like this and see you in the next video.
Once again then, my instinct has driven me to observe and document the sensations that envelop the island, not just by taking postcard-style photos, but by capturing what it evokes as one passes through it. After months of being overwhelmed by what was happening, it now almost seems as though I am also drawn to what is not happening, confirming that I have undergone a genuine transformation in my way of seeing. In a place that is always shown at the height of its tourist season, I arrived at a time of anticipation, finding myself behind the scenes of a paradise on hold, which claims to be ready but executes nothing but a certain melancholy. Empty alleyways, boats mostly moored, souvenir shops without customers, restaurants open but practically deserted. It is a place that now exists to be experienced, and when demand dwindles, you sense it immediately.